Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today is Tuesday, December 16th, 9 days to Christmas. And these next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, of course, are the last uh, group of two episodes that I review for the animated series from Star Trek. And this was the second season. There was only 6 episodes total. So, yeah, after a while, I think people realized that the stories were okay, but not as great, and a lot of people decided not to see them after a while. But when the animated series went into syndication, that's in reruns, that's when people started to appreciate it more. And I believe it was on the Sci-Fi Network where they had the animated shows. They were also on Toonami, I believe. Some of those cable TV programs. Hey, Phil's, welcome, my brother New Zealander there. Phil's, how you doing? Hi, Mikey. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Okay, so, well, we're basically then going to review the last 6 episodes over the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Should be the last day. Then that will be the last pop culture series of any kind that I'll be reviewing for the year. Next year, as I said in February, I'll restart. Uh, in January, I'm going to be covering the fan films, that followed after the animated series. They're not canon, but they're fan film series for Star Trek. There was James Cawley's New Voyages, which covers basically year 4 in space for the Enterprise, and then NCC 1701, and then Vic Minona's Star Trek Continues, which has 11 episodes. And that leads right up to Star Trek Motion Picture, episode 11, which is To Boldly Go, which talks about the Espers. So everything comes back full circle. You know how they started with Where No Man Has Gone Before from the original, Star Trek TOS? Gary Lockwood and Sally Kellerman were Espers, and how that started. And then it comes full circle, and Vic Minona finished it off perfectly with a 2-part episode called The Boldly Go. And that was just fantastic. And then at the very end, little mini spoiler, but Vic Minona, of course, playing Captain Kirk, he's dressed in the Admiral fatigues. He's dressed in the Admiral outfit. So that basically leads right to the opening scene where he comes off the air tram, on Star Trek, the motion picture, dressed up as an admiral. And then he has that conference and everything, talk about V'ger and everything that's coming. So yeah, I mean, really, very, really, very cool how it led to that. So yeah, Vic, and now Vic does tourist. They were in Atlanta, Georgia, and then they moved, and then they're there's a place in upstate New York that they were filming, and different scenes and things for different episodes, and so they've got a nice little museum there that occasionally Vic will visit and guide people on a tour, special tours and things like that. So yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. Um, let's see, what am I thinking of now? Okay, so on Thursday, after I do my 2 episodes, my final 2 episodes for TAS, I am going to take a look at Kali and Minona and see if they are still around. And then, like I said, then in January, probably the first week, not initially the first week of January, but the second week is when I'll start those all together. Those are a total of 21 episodes. And they're really good. And like I said, they'll lead right to Star Trek the Motion Picture. So, yeah. So good to see you, Phils. Okay. All right. So, season 2, episodes 1 and 2 of the series, we have The Pirates of Orion, where Spock contracts a fatal disease and the medicine required for his cure is stolen by Orion pirates. That got about a 6.6 out of 10 from 817 people. And so, yeah, I gave that a C. It first premiered on Saturday, September 7th, 1974. Right. And then the next one, episode 2, is called BEM. BEM, like Jim, but it starts with a B, not a G. The Enterprise crew is being observed to evaluate their suitability to meet with advanced civilizations. That got about a 6.1 out of 10. That was a D, only slightly above a D. I'll tell you what, I gave it a C minus. Yeah, BM didn't really impress me that much. But apparently, some people like to think that he's a cool creature or different kind of species, and he's been mentioned a lot before in the the shows that John DeMarco and Brainy Specs, Professor Brainy did with Jump Nerdy. So apparently, he's a big important influence in the annals of Star Trek universe. That premiered on Saturday, September 14th, 1974. All right, so let's take a look at the Pirates of Orion first. Okay, now what we'll do is Hal Sutherland directing, but his assistant was Bill Reed. So what we'll do is take a look at Bill Reed, and then in the directors, or that was the directors, and then the writers were Howard Weinstein and DC Fontana. So we'll look at Bill Reed and Howard. Excuse me. And of course, the seven voices: Shatner, Nimoy, Kelly, Takai, Nichelle Nichols, Madrigal Barrett, and James Doohan. And then Norm Prescott offered his voice uncredited as an Orion lieutenant in this. So we're going to look at Bill Reed, and then we'll look at Howard Weinstein as a writer. Okay. And let's see. Hello, Phils. As I said, hey, Mike, say ha. Hello, my brother. He's my Swedish man, my friend there. Hello and greetings. Greetings to you, sir. So, Phil's and Mike, it's good to see you guys, Phil and Mike. Yeah, good jobs, man. Phil's and Mike. Yeah. Alrighty. So let's take a look at the trivia first. Okay. Writer Howard Weinstein was 19 years old, making him the youngest writer in the Star Trek universe. Weinstein adapted a short story that he had written for his high school's science fiction magazine and mailed it to the show's producers. This episode marks the last appearance of the Orions in the Star Trek franchise until Borderland episode 2004, which came out 30 years later. This episode has Lieutenant Arix taking over Spock's station, just as Ensign Chekhov did at times in the original series. As a result, Arix, a fan favorite who has also been in numerous Trek novels, has more dialogue here than he has in any other episode. This is one of two times in the show that George Takei gets to voice any character other than Sulu, the first time being the Time Trap in 1973. This takes place in Stardate 2270, and it is stated that McCoy has been practicing medicine for 25 years. Very cool. All right, so as you remember, we don't do goofs or quotes. We already know the soundtrack is from from Ellis and Prescott, and Sutherland, of course, being the main director of the episodes. But we are going to look, like I said, at the other two gentlemen. Okay. Right. No filming and production. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at Bill Reed, who was one of the directors in this episode. All right. Bill Reed is still alive today. Very cool. He was born June 6, 1946. So he is officially 79 years of age. He was born in Bowie, Maryland. He is a director known for He-Man and She-Ra, The Secret of the Sword, Sabrina the Teenage Witch in 71, and Earthworm Jim. That was a good one in 1995. Okay. So, He-Man and She-Ra, The Secret of the Sword, that animated movie, he was the main director, and that came out in 1985. During 1969 to 1972, he was in the animation department of Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV series, which lasted for 58 episodes that he did. Earthworm Jim in 1996, he worked on 3 episodes of that TV series, which did end up in Toonami and also the Hanna-Barbera thing, I believe. And let's see here. Yeah, he worked on 3 episodes from season 2. One is called Episode 1, The Origin of Peter Puppy. The next one is Episode 6 called Hyper Psychro. And the last one is Episode 7, Peanut of the Apes. Nice. All right. And then finally, in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, he also worked in the animation department in 1983. He worked on 49 episodes of that show. Okay, and then in 2011, the last thing, according to IMDb background, Spookier Collection is a video, and he is an animator in that, and he worked on the segment which is called Fat Albert's Halloween Special. So he worked on that. Plus, he worked on a few of the My Little Pony animated videos as well. He did some animation timing and animation timer and sheet timer for My Life as a Teenage Robot, among other things. All right, so happily, Bill Reed, animation department art director, or art department and director at age 79. Very cool. All right, now we'll look at Howard Weinstein, the young writer. Okay, he's best known for Star Trek the Animated Series, of course, Trexperts Briefing Room in 2021, and Inglorious Trexperts in 2018. Okay. In Inglorious Trexperts in 2021, he was the self-writer of the Pirates of Orion. It's a podcast series and one episode. And so it's called Season 3, Episode 22, Trexperts Briefing Room Number 2, The Pirates of Orion with Howard Weinstein. He was the self-writer of that. And then also in the Trexperts Briefing Room, from Season 1, Episode 2, The Pirates of Orion with Howard Weinstein. And then in Star Trek the Animated Series, of course, this was The Pirates of Orion, Season 2, Episode 1 that he completely wrote. 19 years old. That's amazing. Okay. That's the last thing he worked on. And it doesn't give his age, so we're guessing that Howard Weinstein is still alive. 50, I'm trying to think, 1974, and this is 2025, 51 years later. So he'd be 70 right now if he is still alive. According to this, he is. He's a writer. So, all right, so he's 70. We'll go with that. 51 years later. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that takes care of our first episode, The Pirates of Orion. Okay, now we'll look at the next one, which is BEM, right? And again, Bill Reed co-directed with Hal Sutherland on this episode. So we looked at him already. David Gerald co-wrote the episode with DC Fontana. We looked at him already. Yeah, so this will be one of the rare times I don't look at anybody that worked on the crew or anything. So yeah, we'll just go with it. All right, so let's go with the trivia. Okay, this is the first time that Captain James T. Kirk's middle name of Tiberius, the name first listed in written Star Trek 1966 guides, is revealed on screen. Although Star Trek the Animated Series was not considered canon by Gene Roddenberry, many writers of later series helped to canonize several of the show's elements, and the name Tiberius was finally confirmed in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, in 1991. David Gerald would jokingly tell fans that Tiberius was a reference to Robert Graves' I, Claudius. The name spread amongst fans, and Gerald added it to the script after approval from Roddenberry. The movie Star Trek reboot in 2009 would later provide a backstory to the origin of the name. Tiberius was Kirk's paternal grandfather. David Gerald suggested that Nichelle Nichols should do the voice of the entity because of her popularity with Star Trek fans. This is based on a rejected plot outline for the third season of Star Trek in 66. And of course, like I said, it takes place in Stardate 2270. This episode was originally developed for the first season. However, it was postponed because David Gerald and DC Fontana were disappointed with Gene Roddenberry's frequent changes to the script. Roddenberry added the idea of the godlike entity to the script. Gerald was originally disappointed with this because he felt the idea had been used enough times on Star Trek, the original series. However, he eventually became satisfied with his own final script. Okay. And finally, in the commentary track on the DVD of this episode, David Gerald said the original premise of the show was that Spock is very logical and his emotions are under control. What if Spock were prejudiced against something? It would have to be a logical reason for prejudice. It would have to be somebody who is very, very illogical. Very cool. Alrighty. I don't feel complete if I don't at least mention one person of the crew. So let's see. Yeah, we've talked about Fontana. I'm just going over what people we've talked about already. Yeah, we just talked about Bill Reed, Hal Sullivan, Gene Roddenberry, David Gerald, DC Fontana, Norm Prescott, Lou Scheimer, Ray Ellis, the art director Don Christensen. The production management was Rock Benedetto. All right, let's talk about him. He's a general manager. So we'll talk about him on this. Okay. Not only was he in production department, but production manager. Rock Benedetto also is known for the adventures of Batman in 68, Treasure Island in 73, and in 72, the ABC Saturday Superstar movie. Okay. In the Adventures of Batman, he used his alias name Rock Benedict, production coordinator, and he worked on 3 episodes of that. Season 1, episode 1, My Crime is Your Crime, A Bird Out of Hand, Luther's Lethal Laser, and so on, and forget something. Then episode 2, The Cool, Cruel Mr. Freeze. The joke's on Robin. Can a Luther change his stripes? And then finally, season 1, episode 6, The Big Birthday Caper, 2 Penguins Too Many, and Luminians on the Loose. Interesting. So that's what he worked on. Okay, from Treasure Island, the syndicated and animated movie based on the actual Treasure Island story. He worked on that in 1973. He also worked on Oliver Twist, which was the animated movie based on the original play in Britain, Oliver Twist, 1974. And on the ABC Saturday Superstar movie in 1972, he worked on production manager on the one episode called Daffy Duck and Porky Pig Meet the Groovy Ghoulies in 1972, season 1, episode 15. Okay, cool. And according to this list, I believe he's still alive, so very cool. Alrighty. Okay, so that takes care of our 2 episodes for this morning. Like I said, we'll do episodes 3 and 4 tomorrow, and finally on Thursday, episodes 5 and 6 from season 2 of the animated series. So tomorrow, let's see. Tomorrow is The Practical Joker, episode 3, and then episode 4 is Albatross. Cool. And on that one, we'll probably talk about a different writer. Seems here his name is Dario Finelli, so we'll talk about him too. That'll be tomorrow. All right, sometime, whatever time. Okay. And Lemon Pie says hello there. Hello, Sir Lemon. Welcome. Hello, Lemon Pie Phils, and hi, Phils to Lemon. And Mike say I'm sure recognized that Lemon was there. So we've got 3 likes and we've got 2 people still watching. Very cool, very cool. Good to see you, gentlemen. Okay, so let's see. Okay, well, I had a proposal again from Tony. Since I'm no longer talking to PvP, and, well, Sifdan and I are still friends, but we really haven't spoken. We haven't done a show or anything recently. So, but Dan is cool. I'm still friends with him on Facebook, so that'll never change. But now Tony has extended his olive branch again and is asking me if he wants to help me out on on our show here. Well, Tony, I'm going to put it under consideration. Okay, it's going to take a while. I got to really think about this because I don't know, because I'm not really, this channel. I know now. I know next year a lot of our little channels like this might go away because apparently YouTube wants to expand their programming and the content and everything else that's going on. They like a lot of chaos. A lot of these Karens will get caught and arrested and all these other things, and violence and things like that. They enjoy that. Sorry, overlords. I got to be honest with people. Anyway, so some of our small channels might just disappear. And Tony's offering me the chance to help me out. Now, I just uh, came back and forgave Tony for what he said. And I am somewhat interested. I am, no doubts there. But I want to say to Tony that when I make my final decision, it won't be too long. You'll know by the end of the year, or at least the first of the year, when I do my big reveal. I really enjoy this uniqueness of the channel. Me and Suzanne, we don't want to be big, rising stars, from YouTube. We're old people, we're in our 60s, and we just like this. We like doing this for the kindness, of people out there. Like Phil's, like Mike, like Sir Lemon, like Daniel, um, Sif Dan, Gorilla, um, Jim, who I'm going to interview. I want to mention that to everybody again, so you'll know what's coming up today, Tuesday. Um, Matt Arnold. I'm just naming some wonderful friends that we know so far still that still want to be friends with us. Um, Captain. Wow. Anyway, and of course, Crazy Horse and Alice. We want to give a good channel here, but we're not into the big professional stature that Tony has created. Which congratulations to you, Tony. You've done a great job with your channel so far. I know you've gone through a lot of things. It can stress you out too. I can totally concur with that. Um, going through what we have, like I said, with our attacks we had in November and things that are happening. Um, it's getting to the point where if we feel like it's just getting too much for us, I'll just give up the channel. I mean, I'll still stay on YouTube, but I'll just give up on it. I haven't decided what to do with that yet. But I do know for one thing, next year, I'm planning a few different things. And remember, on January 1st, I'll give the big reveal. I'll let all of folks know what we're planning. We do have some special, and I mean special, these are special people, panelists who will come up there, maybe one, maybe two at a time. And we'll talk about these special things that we're going to do in the big reveal for the year. As I said, I want to do during the month of January, I want to do the 21 episodes from both James Colley's New Voyages and Vic Minona's Continues. I want to get all that taken care of. So the next time when we talk to you folks and we open up a new pop culture review show, it's going to be Enterprise. And then we'll go over to TNG after that. Because Enterprise really, even though it was the last, excuse me, even though it was the last Star Trek series I appreciated with Scott Bakula and the rest, um, you know, it's just one of many I would like to pursue next year. And of course, don't forget in February next year, I am trying to finish out the remaining episodes I review for Get Smart. And then I'm going to talk to you folks about two of the movies, one which is called The Naked Bomb, and the other one which is called Get Smart Again. But before I talk about those two movies, and of course the rebooted Get Smart movie, which featured Steve Carell and Anne Hathaway and Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Adam Arkin, or Alan Arkin, I'm sorry. Before I do that, after I finish the original series, I'll go to those 6 episodes that Fox did with Andy Dick that came in as playing the son of Agent 86, played by Don Adams, and 99, played by Barbara Feldon, which was the last time they were combined on there. And there was one episode that featured the late Bernie Kopell, who played Siegfried from Chaos. So, yeah. So that's going to all be planned out. Don't worry, I will, with the big reveal, let you know the first thing I'm going to be doing starting in February. But in the meantime, I'll mention all of the rest of the stuff I'm doing. I'm kind of leaving little snippets here and there, but you'll all know what I'm going to be doing next year with Suzanne. And of course, don't forget Suzanne's got to go through her knee surgeries, both of them, right knee and then left knee. So there's that. And then sometime during the year, Suzanne and I will just go and take care of our other personal business, regarding passports and things like that, so that I can become an actual citizen, because I'm still an immigrant, Canadian immigrant, but I want to become an actual citizen to the country. So, little things that have to be done, but, here and there. But in the meantime, we'll try to maintain this channel for all of you, and it is our last attempt at trying to do a decent channel as a hobbyist would, Try not to make it too professional. But again, Tony, I do have your advice under consideration. So don't forget, I will go over it in my head, try to talk it over with Suzanne, see what we can do. Anyway, we're getting close to the end. So for this particular show, like I said, we got 2 more, no time frame, but just Wednesday, Thursday will be the last 4 episodes of TAS that we'll cover for the rest of the year. Now tonight, Tuesday night, we've got at 7 p.m. Eastern before he does his show again on Wednesday under Boom Claws. We've got Jim's Landscape, LLC #1 Commodore Productions. I'm doing a personal 1v1 interview. It will be the last of the year for this channel until January 1st. After that period, I may go ahead. No, in fact, I will, but I haven't planned them out yet. But there will be a 1v1 with Lizzie Armstrong. She's our friend there in Queensland, Australia. She'll be first. Ladies first, Matt. And then, Matt, I will do your show. And we'll do a 1v1 with Matt Arnold, who lives there in Alabama. So it should be a lot of fun. And we have all that planned out for next year. So anyway, I want to thank Sir Lemon Pie for being here. I want to thank who is one of our managing moderators. I want to thank so much Phil's from New Zealand, our brother there. Please check out his channel. He has some good, decent content. Also, make sure you check out Mike Seha live over there in Sweden, my brother from there. And he's got some good content on his channel. So make sure you all folks do that. And remember, hit the subscribe button for us if you like to subscribe to our channel. You don't have to, but we don't mind if you do. We really appreciate that. We do have 46 currently subscribed to our channel. But remember, they're not just our subscription members. They're also members of an extended family. We consider them family members. So, very cool. Also, remember, don't forget to hit the notification bell, that thing right there, so you can be notified of all content, whether it's podcast, webcam, live like this, or a live, stream, which we'll be doing tonight with Jim at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night. So, guys, gals, make sure you're there. And if you do have questions for us, we're going to take questions from the chat, but I do have a few prearranged questions I'll ask Jim. Try not to be too personal. We had the success previously with Brother Curtis Selby. We had my brother Larry, who came on, and we had Brother Jay Aldridge, that was also one of the 1v1s. So, yeah. So this will be fun with Jim. So if you do have some questions to ask anything, except for politics, death, taxes, and religion. Don't ask any personal in that way to Jim. wouldn't be right. But if you ask other things and you think it might be a dumb question, give it a try anyway. We don't. There are no dumb questions. Only dumb people who don't ask them. That's how I feel about that. So yeah. So if you have questions tonight for Jim or myself or Suzanne, also the two of us, ask us. Let us know. But yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. It is already set up. So folks, make sure you come up, say hello to us. We'll acknowledge you in the chat, saying hello to everybody, and we know who we want there. So. And Phil says, thank you, Mikey and Suzanne. Well, you're very welcome, Phils, and you're a very decent gentleman. Appreciate you, Phils. Okay. So, first of all, remember my beautiful wife, Suzanne, who says, leave everything in God's hands. Good piece of advice. Larry, my brother of 50 years, who I've known he is like my older brother. He is, actually, by a few months. He always says, always be yourself. It's a good one. And then brothers Jim and Matt both say, remember, they helped me to do this. Remember, you never know where you'll hear or see me next. So make sure you come check me out when I do other shows. I've got a few major ones planned. I've got a big one on Saturday at 5:35 p.m. Eastern, our pre-Christmas show at the Nostalgic Pod Blast. And I hope to have Larry, my best friend, come up there and co-host with us, along with Al's Place. And we also have CC, our man behind the screens. And then that's on the 20th. And then, like I said, Boone Claw's Jim has 2 more shows on Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where he's doing, talk about Boone Claws, maybe giving away some prizes or some gifts, So check him out. He'll be doing that all through till the end, he says, till the end of this month. So look forward to that on Jim's Landscape channel. And Lemon says, yep, thanks, and say hi to Suzanne. I will, Sir Lemon. Thank you for being here, my brother. Okay. My brother for Texas. All right. And of course, I say peace for Mikey's for previous channel. And of course, our beautiful cats, Deja Vu and Moon Pie. And remember, let's say, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, a prayer for the entire world. God bless the world we live in. Remember, it's just one we have, and make sure you become guardians and stewards to future generations who would like to travel the wonderful landscapes and the wonderful landmarks and everything that are out there, and to meet people, in general, and hopefully in a good, positive way rather than in a violent, hateful way. So let's hope for all that and pray for all that in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, as well as the Virgin Mary included, and of course the wonderful old patron saints, Saint Suzanne for my wife, and Saint Michael the Archangel was named after for the protector of heaven, and the one who sent Lucifer and the rest of them down to hell. So, an amen from Lemon. Thank you, Lemon. All right. So with that, everybody take care this morning. Have a good rest of the day. Please be safe and warm out there because it is very cold. In fact, right now it's 19 degrees Fahrenheit. We've had lots of snow. We're supposed to get a few more up here in Toronto, so in the area, GTA. So hope all of you are staying warm down there somehow. Alrighty. So take care. Again, thank you, Phils. Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Lemon. Sir Lemon. Thank you, Mike Seha, for all being here this morning. Wonderful. 4 likes, 2 people still here. Thank you very much. All right. So take care, everybody. God bless you all. And remember, whenever you want a nice, comfortable place to hang out or say hello to people and never feel threatened, never feel any hatred or anything, just come here to ChattyBloggerMS, which the MS stands for Mikey Sue's. So take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Tomorrow. Oh, and tonight with the live stream with Jim. So make sure you check that out.